Or just a reminder, this is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Fair Use Copyright Act of 1976. Remember, everything is of my opinion and just, we're covered. Hi guys, hi guys. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Nico Nicole, and this is Give This Girl a Mic. If you haven't been here before, we talk all things pop culture, pop politics, commentary, and what the general world is going through. Just what's happening in today's world generally. We might talk politics, we might talk people, places, things, that kind of thing. So if you're interested in that, please hit the subscribe button above. Let's jump right on in. Let's just jump right in. Last night I did a live, and I wanted to just let you guys know where we were, because we were talking a little bit about Love is Blind. So I figured we begin where we ended yesterday, because I did mention these two yesterday. So this is going to be a spoiler. So if you guys haven't watched already, Love is Blind, all of the finale episodes are up for the wedding. So all the weddings are revealed. So spoiler alert right here. Okay, sorry in advance. So and yesterday I did a live, but it isn't up yet because it's, YouTube sometimes takes a while to pin. And I had like a copyright strike for one of the speeches that I put for Mike B. Jordan. So I'm trying to get the copyright removed. So once that's done, I'll re-upload that so you guys can watch the live from yesterday. But we talked about Emma and Mike yesterday, if you caught the live. And in that, I talked about how they waste our motherfucking time. They waste our time, babes. And unfortunately, the thing is, Mike knew the entire time, and I must have blamed too, to a sense, because she could have easily just said that she didn't want to be in the relationship any longer. But the fact that she just allowed it to just keep going and keep going is, I think, where my frustration is, because we could have stopped this at any time, babe. Like, you allowed it to go, just like Mike allowed it to go. And I just feel like they both wasted our time, really truly. So we have that aspect there. So they were the first couple up. And also Mike's mom did not help the scenario. Like, she did not want Emma and Mike to be together, and she made that crystal clear, honey. So it was a really awkward, I think, for us, the audience, but also awkward for Mike. When he went up there, he kind of knew what had to be done, because his mother was not going for it. I think we all knew that Emma's family also were in support of her not having children, based on what she had to deal with her birthmark and her birth defects and everything. So we knew that it was always 50-50. And if you knew that, you shouldn't have taken it outside the pods. Again, but my whole thing with this season in and of itself is they are doing things for the plot. And it's like getting to a point where I'm watching. So I've never watched the first season of this show. So I'm currently watching the first season of the show, and I see like just that genuine connection that you really can't fake. And it's just so different from what this season turned out to be. And it's like, I'm really sad that this season turned into what it is versus what we had in the first season. I wish we could replicate what we had in that first season. But, it's hard to, what they say, it's hard to strike twice. So, yes, to me, overall, they were like a bit of a disappointment, because I feel like they were playing in our face the whole time. They didn't really commit to the process. Yes, they have a nice chemistry with one another. And honestly, because of how Emma is a little bit of a perfectionist and likes to prove people wrong, I wouldn't be surprised if they stay together, or like as far as the reunion. But I feel like after the reunion's over, honey, I think the whole shebang dang is over. So I haven't followed up. Like, how some people following the podcast and all this stuff. I haven't followed the podcast to see where they are today. I'm gonna just wait to the reunion and watch it, like, as Netflix presents it to us. So we'll see where this couple is. But as much as I was rooting for Emma, she was the one to root for. Her personality in the end, to me, didn't really turn out to be that damn likable. So I don't really feel bad for her in the end, and neither did I feel bad for Mike. They literally could have saved us so much time and did what some other couples did, which is break it off before the altar. But again, I think it's Netflix doing that thing that they do where they're pushing couples to go to the altar just to kind of create a program. So next up, speaking of that, I said in a Blue Sky tweet. So if you guys aren't following me, make sure you go follow me on Blue Sky. I'm actually on all platforms. I'm on TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads, but I mostly primarily post on Blue Sky and YouTube. Those are my two major ones that you'll see me. And I'm also starting to post a lot on Snapchat. So those are like the top three ones. If you want to follow me and see what I'm doing outside of YouTube, you can follow me on Snapchat, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Blue Sky and YouTube. So neither here nor there. Let's get into Jordan and Amber. I wrote a Blue Sky tweet, and in it it said there's going to be two couples that make it to the altar. I said the first couple is going to be Vic and Christine because they are doing it for the plot, that Netflix thing, right? They are a production pick, they are industry plant, whatever you want to call them. And I said if there is a second couple that's going to be married, it's going to be a couple that Netflix pays. I don't know if they paid Amber, but I wouldn't be surprised if they paid Jordan because he is not in it in the way that, like, I when somebody's in it. And while I have been rooting for this couple from the beginning, I wanted them to be together. The way Emma was looking at him at that wedding, she was like, that's Amber daughter for y'all who don't know. She was not with it in the same way that I was with it. And it seems like Amber was with it. And I think Amber is just searching for that true love, that person who will be there, her anchor, her teddy bear, her big boy. I want a big boy. And I think she sees that in Jordan. And honestly, Jordan looks just like her brother. So it makes sense that she's attracted to Jordan because he's kind of familiar in that way to her. But one of my mutuals on Blue Sky actually pointed out that Jordan is very immature. He doesn't want to live in a small town where she is. He wants to be in a big city with kegs and the bars. Meanwhile, she has a little daughter, so she cannot be in those kind of party like environments. So my mutual essentially felt like he will abandon her in that manner and not show up emotionally for her in the end. So we'll see where that lies in terms of the reunion. I personally was rooting for Amber and Jordan. So I cried on their scene, y'all. Got a little teary. Oh my God. But because I actually really think he's an endearing guy. I like him as well as Connor, like blue collar, masculine, Americana, whatever that means to you. That don't mean it too much these days, but back in the day it meant something. And so I just like those kind of guys. But I don't know. We'll see what happens because so far my mutual's perspective is kind of leading the way because what she said is him like showing up a little bit immature and like needing his sister's prompt to say yes instead of him knowing that he wanted to be with Amber. He's like, my sister said to follow my heart. Like, you should have already known what you wanted in a woman because a man is supposed to be the leader of the pack. And so I don't think this one is going to end too well. But I personally, even though I might be on the wrong side of the fence, was rooting for these two. So we'll see what happens. But if spoiler, got 5 seconds. 30 minutes. I need to start adding like little clips in here. But yeah, you got 30 minutes. Okay, you're going if you don't want to spoil it. So obviously they are married. I have the picture of them kissing there, but that doesn't necessarily mean you put two and two together. So they did end up getting to the altar, marrying one another, saying I do. And like I said, I teared up at that moment. Emma was very happy at that point. And I realized too at that moment, maybe Emma wasn't necessarily like mad at him because she was scowling at him at first. But I think was more so, don't let my mom down. She's really rooting for this. She really wants this. And I feel like he's gonna let my mom down. And I think the moment he didn't let the mom down, like Emma let her guard down. Like she was like so happy. She was even crying. I was crying. We were all crying. Like this one got a standing ovation. So we'll see what happens. But it made good TV for Netflix. But Netflix is starting to be the bad guy. Look what they did to the Breakfast Club. But we'll talk about that one next time. Britt and Devonta. Y'all better add the in there because he got a lot of sass. And it's not Devontae. It's Devonta. I looked it up. So that's what we call him, Devonta, the diva, right? Look how she's so this one right here. This is why I put this picture. It's a little blurry, but you'll get the gist. Look at that hand on his leg. Look at that body language. Just look at her body language. She's leaned in, pulled in. He's pulled out, feeling smothered, guarding like this. Let me minimize. Hold on. He's guarding himself, shielding from touch, from any intimacy. So the inner, right? The body language is important. So the core, the heart is here, chakra. The private parts, personal areas down there. In order to protect himself from her energy, he's shielding himself off. That is a big sign. And she needs to study that stuff lately. Like she needs to study the things that are red flags that might not seem like red flags. And she might not pick up on these things until later. But if she noticed the small things, she would have picked up on the big things. And even here, like feel her energy, like she's arms crossed. But in the next scene, she's crying and saying how much she loves him. But her body is telling her, look at her eyes slanted, her face stern. Beautiful girl. And look at her in the beginning, smiling, happy, outward, open, you know? And that's who she truly is. And to see how that interaction with Devonta brought her down. It's like my mom always say, never lay your pearls before swine, right? Never give somebody more than they deserve of you. And especially for women, it's like always love yourself more than you love somebody else, than you love a man, right? The only person you probably love more than yourself as a woman is probably your kids. And even that is like at a certain point you have to let them fly in the coop and pour back into yourself, because you cannot pour from an empty tank. And I think she just kept pouring and pouring and pouring to the point where there was nothing left for her. And let me tell you why I personally think that is happening. It's because she has an overflow of love. And when you grow up with this I used to be like that. When you grow up with this overflow of love, like my mom used to give me hugs and kisses, and like I had a lot of love. So I remember going to school and like I always, even now I'm like, oh, I'm a hugger, not a handshaker. And I remember one friend was why are you always hugging me? Why are you always hugging me? And then I went to her home, and it just wasn't that same love, energy. And then it's funny, by the time we like kind of built our relationship, she was hugging me. So sometimes you pour from an overflow. And sometimes people like my friend eventually grew to like just be a lover herself and accept the love. But then some people like Devonta will reject the love, and that will pour some out for the homies, pour you out like you don't even matter. And that's what he did with Brittany's beautiful love. And so you see the father, you see how much he pours into Brittany, you see her mom, how much she pours, her brother and sister-in-law. She's just surrounded by like just beautiful people. And we didn't even get to meet his little crude family, so we don't know what type of stock he comes from, but we know the stock she blooms from is really, really beautiful. So sometimes people see that and are turned off from it. And I hope that now that she sees that, and this is actually a beautiful lesson for her, because now she sees from an outside looking in how she comes off in relationships, which he said it at the end. She is a shadow to me. She's a very clingy person. But I remember dating a guy, and I was like not, I guess, into him. And I was telling my friend, like, oh my God, when I wake up in the morning, he's just staring at me. And my friend said to me, you don't like him. I said, what? I do like him. She's like, no, you don't. She said, because when you meet a guy and you wake up in the morning and a man is staring at you, you love him, your heart is going to flutter and you're going to be so happy he's looking and admiring you. And I remember years later, so this is like when I was younger, years later, I wake up one morning, and my now husband is staring at me, like hovering over me while I'm asleep. And I wake up, and I just like, hi. I was so happy and filled with like so much love. And I wasn't like this shadow of his, like Devonta said about Brittany. Like, and I was like his flower. I was something for him to admire. And he was just there. And I was very happy to receive the fact that he was admiring me. And so the fact that Devonta doesn't like her admiring him means she is not for him. So hopefully she finds her person and also doesn't allow him to shrink her goodness and her sweetness and her positivity. So we'll move on from Devonta and we'll move on to Ashley and Alex. They were up next. Okay. So this is this is Ashley and Alex. Girl, I done forgot about this couple already. So they were toxic from the day one. It was a very lustful couple. And he was, I talked about this a little bit in my live yesterday too. That once it's up, you guys can see. And in a little live, I was basically saying that he was obsessed with some girl from Florida, Texas, wherever she was from. She moved to Florida, he moved to Florida. She moved to Texas, he moved to Texas. And he want to be wherever this girl is at, but she's currently in a loving relationship. So he can't be with that girl. So now he's sitting here wasting his time on Love is Blind because he's homeless. This man is a homeless man. He's not even attracted to this beautiful little Barbie doll right here, which is crazy. And then this one right here got to the altar and ripped him to shreds. And it was so beautifully poetic. And I was like, you better go, Ashley. And I said to myself, the only one who was happy about this, which is why I have him as the big picture, is Daddy Ashley. He is so proud of his daughter and so happy that she got rid of that bum, and I'm happy too. I was very proud of her speech. It was a good speech too. It was like one of them speeches you wait to give. She practiced that speech in the mirror the night before. I tell you that much. So it was really good. It was entertaining to say the least. Was it the most juiciest thing we've ever seen? No, but it was a good scene, and I was happy she put that hobosexual right where he belongs in his place. And to the homosexual's mama, I feel like with that whole situation, the mom saying that she shouldn't have said what she said at the altar, I get the mom's feelings and everything, but your son is a liar. He was lying. His stories never aligned, never added up. And Ashley, she could have, again, like other couples, ended it early, but again, Netflix was probably doing that thing where they were trying to keep all the couples in line until they had to make a show, you know what I mean? And we understand that. So I'm not mad at it, but they were probably definitely paid to be there. Let's say the least. And then last but not least, the people's princesses, right? We have what's their name? Victor and Christine. So this couple has been the couple that has been the most like talked about because everybody thinks this is a PR couple, including myself. I said it first. I thought they were. I said, where these people come from? First of all, how are y'all? Are y'all in Ohio or are you in Missouri? Where are you at? Why didn't you go to Cabo with the clan? You went to Malibu? At first I was thinking because he's Grenadian. Maybe he wasn't an American citizen and he couldn't go, and maybe he came on a show for that. But I looked it up. He was born in Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. So he's an American citizen. Why couldn't he fly? That was weird. I don't know. All of it is just weird. Just felt like they just popped up on the scene. Then I watched season one. I told you I'm watching season one because after I got rid of, well, not really got rid of, finished the episode, I said to myself, oh, that was unsatisfying. So I need to see something more satisfying. So I heard all rave about season one, and Lauren, I forget I forget the husband's name. Start with a C though. I think I want to say Connor or something like that too. Whatever the couple is, I heard they were like all the rage. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and watch them. And their story, I'm only on episode 2. Their story has been really sweet. And I get it, guys. I get why their story made the show go boom, right? It's like magnifying. And I think they are trying to reheat their nachos with this story. Because now that I'm watching season one, ironically at the same time, a lot of the storyline that Lauren and her guy had was the same storyline that they tried to have Vic, except opposites, right? Evil twin. Like they tried to do the same thing. I see Netflix, like the whole conversations about race and being a strong black woman. Lauren said that to her guy and basically to the Netflix camera, and how these things would come up. And then they had that same conversation almost to the T, but it was flipped because Vic is the black person in the relationship. So I feel like they were like, okay, can we reheat these nachos and get another boom? But you can't create a star. That's what we talked about yesterday too, with the Sinners and Michael B. Jordan. Like when your star is set to go, nothing can stop it. It's all the way up. So that is kind of why it's going to be hard to repeat, and maybe even why this comes off so inauthentically. And I thought it was so funny because I'm not the only person who feels this way. There's a whole article about it. Let's read it. So this article here is from Cosmo, but it says Vic seemingly responds to viral theory that he and Christine are plants on Love is Blind season 10. These are his key points. He said, Vic St. John and Christina have emerged as the strongest couple on Love is Blind, season 10, forming an instant connection in the pods and avoiding major drama. Fans began speculating they were plants cast by production, especially after they were sent to Malibu instead of Cabo after the pods. Vic addressed the rumors on social media, pushing back on claims that their relationship is fake or boring, right? So this is what he said. He said, if you've been watching the hot mess of Love is Blind season 10, then you know that Vic St. John and Christine Hamilton are far from perfect and are far away the best pairing to come out of Ohio. The public policy professor and speech language pathologist seemingly hit it off instantaneously in the pods, and things have been smooth sailing between them ever since. So smooth, in fact, that there's been a viral theory circulating that Vic and Christine are plants cast by production following the zero marriages that came out of last season. Fans first became suspicious when Vic and Christine went to Malibu for their post engagement getaway, rather than Cabo with the rest of the pod. Love is Blind creator Chris Colleen even admitted to Entertain Weekly that the two were sent on their own trip because they didn't have any of those resolved threads. Hmm, suspicious. To work out with other castmates. But as these weeks went on and the couple continued to get little screen time, Vic eventually took to social media to address those plant allegations, as well as claims that his relationship is boring. Let me just fast go down to where he actually talks about it. He says seemingly healthy relationships can present boring. It can trigger skepticism and think pieces disguised as truths, in part for valid reasons because the world exposes us to wicked things and pain. I entered this experiment with faith and an open heart and mind, not with discrimination or hate. I've seriously dated women of different races. I came looking for a potential wife, and if you think color of a person's skin would change the decisions in episodes 1 through 3, you do not know me. He said, I pray for society's healing. So he said, this isn't the first time he's addressed the boring allegations either. While chatting with the New York Post, he said, a little boring is not a bad thing. So what do you guys think? Do you think Christine and Vic were just a little boring, or do you think they were set up in a big time plant? I personally think they were a plant, but sometimes boring can be good in a relationship. I don't want no boring relationship, but good for them. I wish them the best. We'll find out in time if it's real, if they stay together long term, if they have kids together, and such and such and such. Because I was trying to look them up on social media, and it's a bust. They're not anywhere on social media, so they just kind of write comments giving very much PR couple, but that ain't my business. So hopefully it is real, and I wish them the best. Speaking of actual fun couple and relationship times, um Relationship Goals on Amazon Prime was a hoot. It was so much fun to watch this couple, right? This other PR couple, not actual, I say actual couple, but to talk about relationship goals. This couple here was really cute. They were an actual couple from like previous years, and then they ran back into each other in the news anchor editor space, where they had to work on an assignment together to cover a book written by Michael Todd right here, called Relationship Goals. And so in real life, the book inspired this movie. The book is called Relationship Goals, and it's written by Devon Franklin, who's a pastor. And Amazon Studios picked it up to be produced by Devon Franklin. You guys know Devon Franklin from Megan Good. That's her ex-husband, so who's currently remarried and has been doing a lot of directing recently. So his latest bit is this movie Relationships Goals, which I really enjoyed the movie. It was really cute. I feel like they had great chemistry with one another. There were a lot of funny scenes, good banter, and Method Man is fine. Y'all know he's fine. And in real life, he's actually married. So he actually is True Relationship Goals, as well as Kelly Rowland. You know, she's actually married in real life as well. So they both have their own relationship goals, so to speak. Kelly has two beautiful children. I'm sure Method Man, I know he has a daughter that raps. I'm sure he has some beautiful children as well. But it was really nice, and it's the weekend, so that's why I mentioned this, because I was like, you guys are going into the weekend. It's Friday night. If you guys want to sit, drink some wine, this would have been good for Valentine's Day, but it's still almost close to February. We just a week out. So if you guys want to just like enjoy a good flick this weekend and it's lighthearted, this will be one of those things you should go try and see if you like. So every week I do a segment called Joy Comes in the Morning. And in that segment, we discuss just positive things that keep us motivated for the week. And this week's Joy Comes in the Morning is Mama Tina's Gumbo, because Gumbo make you feel good inside. Gumbo make you feel complete. And I just want to share this little tidbit that I got from TikTok of a moment where her fans are celebrating her Gumbo.
We went to the rodeo strictly for food, so let's go over everything we got. We had to stop by Mama Tina's Gumbo, and Mama Tina was actually there. Of course, we got a picture. This is the seafood gumbo. I'm not gonna lie, I ain't had good gumbo in Texas before, and this was some good Louisiana style. Your grandma probably made it kind of gumbo, and they not skimpy on the seafood. This gumbo is Louisiana approved. Go get you some. Next up, we got Russo's Fat Bacon. They are the home of the cotton candy bacon. I didn't know this is giving diabetes. I can't do this anymore. Auntie too old for this. And the fried Oreos, honestly, were just okay. To wash that all down, we got aqua fresca, got watermelon.
But anyway, y'all see the gist. They got some other stuff.
The best, and that's everything we got.
She said that in the comments I was reading. It said that people were saying her boyfriend or husband, whoever, her partner looks like J. Cole. And she said Tina Knowles agreed with her. There go to Gumbo right there. So it looked good, doesn't it? It looks pretty good. I got a lot of shrimp in it. I'm sure Miss Tina knows how to throw down, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day. I was trying to get that image right there. She's no stranger to Gumbo. And I just love this for her. One thing about Miss Tina Knowles, she continues to reinvent herself over and over again. And I just admire women like that. Again, yesterday in the live, which will be up in just a few minutes. As soon as I get off here, I'm gonna just check the copyright, and hopefully it'll be up within like the next hour. And then we'll do the same for this video. It'll be like maybe up maybe tomorrow, this live. So similar to Karen, is which obviously Miss Tina has not done some stuff like Miss Karen, but what I love about those type of women in that particular age group is they show you how to continue to reinvent yourself even in later life. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in, oh, we're too old for this, and you're only in your late 20s or late 30s, and you feel like time has run out for you. And I remember Gary V. He's the guy who like always does the motivational speaker. He always says that is not, you're not too you're right on time. And he's like, okay, you're 30, you're 45, you're young. He's always that guy, like, start now, start today. And I love to see women like Tina Knowles starting today and always like pushing herself to a new height. She did a collaboration with Beyonce with Sacred, because we know her whole life she was a hairstylist. She had her own um salon and everything. So it's just beautiful how she continues to reinvent herself no matter what. And she doesn't let anything stop her. And I'm actually reading her book, Matriarch, right now. I'm reading it via Audible. So it's her telling her own story. And she used to call herself Badass Teeny B. And well, she didn't make that name up for herself. She was just like the youngest of, I think it was 7 or 8 kids. It was like it was a load of them. And her mother was like just 40 something years old when she had her, so she was like the last baby, so she got to do whatever she wanted to do and be badass teeny b. And I'm at the part where she's talking about, like, well, she just left. She has just like so many, it's so much, I can't even tell you everything. She talks about civil rights movement, slavery, plantation, the stories of the mothers before the mothers, like, and how they kept their families intact. She talks about her experience and being kind of treated poorly by like teachers in school, particularly Catholic school, finding her own voice to stand up for herself when her own mother couldn't stand up for her, but also having like an understanding and a love for her mom, and not judging her mom for the things that she's done. So just little stuff like that. Like, it was just a lot that I really learned from Tina Knowles. And also the cover of her book. I looked it up. It was created by an artist called Kalani Fatai. He calls himself one of the luckiest artists in Africa. He's a Nigerian based painter. He says he was first commissioned by Miss Knowles, the mother of Beyonce and Solange, in 2023. And when she asked him to paint the cover of her book, so he did some work for her in her own home, it sounds like, and then she later commissioned him for the book. So beautiful cover, beautiful story. This woman had not just her, like, her story is beautiful, but I love that she did a story about the matriarchs in her family, because I really think we all have a book in us. And like reading her story, I have a book that I'm writing, and it sounds already so similar to her story. And I've been writing this book for like 10 years. It's went from like journal entries to like started writing it as a book. And like so much of what she went through, like having a grandma, I know we all have these stories, right? Especially as foundational Black Americans, like of our grandparents working on the cotton fields, or particularly my grandma worked on peach fields and peach trees and orange groves. And so it's just crazy. Her and sugarcane, we all have a similar story. And just hearing it is almost like listening to my grandma tell me these stories again, or listen to my mom telling me these stories again. So I've been enjoying her book, and if you have a chance, I suggest you go, um read that. That can be another thing you do over the weekend. Read Miss Tina's book if you haven't already. We are coming to the end of our podcast episode, whatever you want to call it, live stream today. And I'm going to end with a bit of a message of the day, which kind of comes from Miss Tina a little bit. It helped when I saw it. I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I want to say. A negative mind would never give you a positive life. And that's one thing that I'm learning from just life in general. The more positive things that you see for yourself, the more positive that will breed and come out of you. Good begets good, bad begets bad. So, you know what I mean? You are what you eat, essentially. So the more you pour into yourself and see things as positive and see things coming through for your way, the more things good will happen to you. And like I said, with the Joy Comes in the Morning segment, I have this quote at the bottom, that trouble won't last always. And it's the same message here. At the end of the day, the more we feed positive thoughts and have positive mantras, the more good will come to you. I do have some just clean up items. So last time I was on my live, I had this t-shirt up here. A few people asked about it. That is the link. If you guys want the t-shirt, it's there. If you want to continue to support the channel, I do have these mugs. They are for sale by request, but you can also scan the QR code and send me, $5 for a cup of coffee if you like, or help me, with building the channel, getting better lights, whatever, however way you want to help grow the channel. We are trying to aim for 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So I think we could do it. I think we could do 10 really, but we're going to try to start with 2 at least by the end of the summer, and then maybe by the end of the year we'll be up to we'll double it. We'll try to get to 4,000. And then this is my Snapchat. As I told you guys in the beginning, I am growing other platforms as well. So I'm just basically building our community a little bit more so you can get to know me outside of these lives. Just to see what I cook for breakfast, what I do on my free time, and a little bit more of the behind the scenes of my personality. And also whenever I'm watching a TV show, I'm snapping that TV show as well. And I'm talking hella stuff that I can't talk on YouTube. So you'll kind of hear me screaming and hollering at the TV, and we can watch the show together. So, for example, when I get off with you guys, I'll probably go finish Love is Blind. So if you want to watch me watch Love is Blind, if you want to watch together, I'll be over there watching the season 1 of Love is Blind, and we can yell at the TV together. Closing thoughts. So I just wanted to end with making sure that you maintain your moral values and principles. As you guys know, I am big on making sure that you are the prize, that you know that you are the MVP of your life. Every moment, every step, everything that we do is a reflection of who we are. And if we show up as winners, we will win in this life. There ain't nothing to it but to do it, baby. And so I just want to say thank you for joining me today. It is always a blast with you guys. Anybody who stays to the end, make sure you put the purple hearts, because that is what we do. We are certified lover girls over here, and boys and guys and men and women. So if you guys enjoyed today's stream, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button above. If you stayed the whole time, I appreciate all the love. We wrapped up in about 45 minutes. That's not too bad. Not too shabby. We did good. Congrats. Claps for us. So I'll see you guys next time. Let me know if you guys want to discuss anything particular. Shoot me a DM or Snapchat. You can follow me on all these platforms below. I'm on Threads, TikTok, I'm anywhere you can find me. Give this girl a mic. The only one different is on Snapchat, which is give this GRL a mic, no I. But everywhere else is give this girl a mic. If you're not sure, you can go in the description, and I have my link tree there. You can find all my social media sites there as well. So again, it's your girl Nico Nicole. Welcome to Give This Girl a Mic, and thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. This was fun, and have a good weekend. We made it. Woo, what a long week. Bye, guys.